Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm here with a group of folks who have been doing some organized work down in Lewiston to call for the support of House Resolution 786. Guys, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
Of course. So can you introduce yourselves and say, you've been calling on Jared Golden's office. Can you introduce yourselves and then we can get into it?
Yeah, I'm Dylan, and I'm a concerned constituent of Jared Golden's. And I'll let y'all introduce yourselves.
I'm Tanvi, and yeah, also very concerned and concerned constituent of Jared Golden.
Right, I put you on the spot. I didn't give you a good enough question, but yeah, great. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm Chrstine. I'm also a constituent and a community member in Lewiston.
Right. So we got together today. You're citizens, and you're calling upon Jared Golden's office. What is House Resolution 786, and why does it have to do with what you guys are calling on his office for?
Right. So House Resolution 786 is a ceasefire resolution. Specifically, it says calling for the immediate de-escalation and ceasefire in Israel and occupied Palestine. And that is a very important topic for us. I personally am Israeli, and it's a very important topic for me. Yeah. We see, from what we can see from like all the information sources that we can find, is that like peace and liberation in that part of the world will serve both Palestinians and Israelis and make for a better world, all told. So we stand behind that. And yeah, we stand behind that.
Right, and it's not in our coverage zone, but there have been sit-ins in Jared Golden's Lewiston office in the past week. Do you guys know anything about that? Can you explain it a little bit?
Yeah, folks went and sat in at Jared Golden's office to ask him to accept this ceasefire resolution and to talk to the constituents directly about it as to why he was not accepting it. He also did censure Representative Rashida Tlaib, who is one of the authors of this resolution. And that was particularly insulting to the constituents there because she is the only Palestinian member of Congress and was speaking out in defense of her people. And that was offensive for those of us, myself included, I'll speak for myself, who are his constituents. And we, I'll speak for myself also, but like I think that the three of us would resonate with this, is that we would like him to understand that like this person was speaking out for the lives of her family and her community, and she deserves to be able to do that without being censured on the House floor, and especially for something that is so important for the ceasefire.
Right, because I know we were talking about our I know other groups had tried to call out both of our congressional delegates, but I know you guys have just kind of focused in on Jared Golden, so that's kind of why I was asking that. But I mean, personally, why do you guys support this as well? If you guys want to speak up and explain yourselves too.
Sure. Well, I specifically wanted to call on Jared Golden because I'm a Lewiston community member, and the whole world knows what happened in Lewiston just a couple weeks ago. And I was home when the mass shooting happened, and I was sheltered in place for 2 days, and I never thought that I'd be part of a community that's experienced mass violence like that, and so, but here I am, and that moment made me feel on the most minuscule amount what it must feel like to be in a community that's experiencing mass murder and mass violence. However, one of the differences for me is that my home was a safe space that I could stay in while we were sheltered. And people in Gaza don't have that luxury in any way. And when Jared Golden asked for forgiveness from his community around not protecting us, from gun violence, it was a really human moment and a really humble moment that felt good for me to hear. And I want to call on him to have the same kind of humanity and humbleness when it comes to innocent folks in Gaza, so many of them children who are experiencing mass violence for something that they didn't have a part in. And so, yeah, I felt really called to call on Jared Golden to support a ceasefire, to apologize to Rashida Tlaib as well.
And Tanvi, just so that you can get a word in as well, I know we're short on time, but how do you feel about all of this?
Well, I would say that Jared Golden, he's someone who has just a massive amount of power in a way that many of us who are his constituents don't. And living in a representative democracy, he is our elected official and so has the moral and political imperative to heed the call of his constituents. He recently voted against party lines, one of the very few Democrats to do so, to send another $14 billion in aid to Israel, which will give the military assistance to the Israeli state to continue to bomb people. 13,000 people and more and counting are dead. And we're seeing the continual bombing of hospitals and schools and refugee camps, and all of whom get called collateral damage by the United States. So we are really urging Jared Golden to call for an immediate de-escalation and ceasefire and to support humanitarian aid in Gaza, as well as apologizing publicly for the censure of Rashida Tlaib.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're about out of time, guys. Thank you all for coming in and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I appreciate it. And we have reached out to Jared Golden. We encourage and we want equal representation from his office as well. So hopefully we'll hear from him shortly. And now we'll send it over to Weather.